latest around the wide world of tropics. Tropical Weather Bulletin for June 9th. The tropics are fairly quiet today on the face of things. No tropical cyclones, named storms are active right now, but there are quite a few potential systems on the horizon on day 160 of the year so far. So let's take a look basin by basin. There's a lot to cover. In the Atlantic we've got two 10% areas that we've marked. One of them is the one that we know about near the Caribbean, the southern part of the Caribbean, and another one that could be developing or might develop off the east coast of the United States next week. 10% chance as it develops there along the US East Coast southeastern part. Day 25 of the Eastern Pacific hurricane season shows two 30% chances right now. The invest that was originally 90% from the NHC went down and down. We're going back to 30% also off the coast of southeastern Mexico. And two areas of interest in the Western Pacific right now as well. A broad 10% area that could come out of something over the west central part of the Pacific, and a higher chance for something that could form in the South China Sea in the next 5 days. We've also got our highest chances of 40% in the Bay of Bengal yet again for another potential broad tropical cyclone that may form off the coast of India. Taking a look at the satellite imagery right now, this is the Atlantic. You can see there rather mixed actually. There's quite clearly that area of moisture that's pushing through the Caribbean Sea, and we're watching the southeastern part there for something that may well form. The area that we're watching off the coast of Florida will be something that drops down from the United States, probably won't develop before it crosses the Florida Panhandle region, and then off towards the east coast of the United States. East Pacific looks like this. You can see there dry air very prominent on the western part of the Eastern Pacific, and you can see, you just saw those areas of interest that could develop further east as the best place for them. The Western Pacific looks like this right now, very disorganized on the western part there. But you can see the ingredients. Moisture is definitely very conducive there for a potential tropical cyclone later on down the line, and we could be looking at a subtropical origin for the easterly tropical cyclone if it forms. Looking at the Indian Ocean, not much to talk about just yet, but we're looking at day 3, 4, 5 for this potential system off West Bengal that could develop and become a broad, probably not very strong, but could be a very rainfall inducing cyclone. And this is a look right now, just some more frames of the Western Pacific. You can see just how much moisture there is there, particularly over the Indochina region. So let's take a look at sea surface temperatures in the Eastern Pacific. Fairly warm still, and warming up in that area that matters the most towards the easternmost part of the Eastern Pacific there, 30 degrees plus. The Atlantic warming up as well. That area in the Caribbean Sea, 26 to 28 degrees, a little bit marginal near the coast of Florida and along the Gulf Coast of the east coast of the United States, the Gulf Stream. 26 degrees though still. The Indian Ocean fairly warm still for that potential system, 30 pushing 32 along the West Bengal coast into Odisha, and then into the Western Pacific, the South China Sea fairly warm indeed, 30 degrees, possibly touching up a little bit more than that into the Gulf of Tonkin, and out over the open waters generally a little bit cooler, but in the 20 degree north area looking at about 30 degrees Celsius, so very warm up in that area if anything decides to wind up there. Doesn't look like it's going to be anytime soon. And looking at the sea surface temperature anomalies, East Pacific, as you can see, sticks out like a sore thumb there, way below average generally, except for the coast of Mexico where it's above average. Now that's obviously the area that we're watching for the most for potential tropical cyclones. The Western Pacific above average generally, and the Atlantic around average overall. The subtropics warmer though. On June 9th, 2004, we had Typhoon Konson, which was a Category 1 and strengthening off the coast of Taiwan right now, and a very small system to go with that as well. Tropical Depression 8W also formed on this day in 2004 in the Philippine Sea. It would get a name in the next 24 hours, as it was. It would be Changthu, which then moved through the Philippines. Well, with nothing on the horizon just yet for new names, the next name on the Atlantic naming list is Bill, followed by Claudette. The Eastern Pacific will see Carlos, followed by Dolores. In the Central Pacific, the next name on list 1 is Hone. To the Western Pacific, we're looking out for Koguma, followed by Champi. The North Indian Ocean sees Gulab next up. It'd be a surprise if it did happen from this system, so we'll wait and see on that. Followed by Shaheen. And in the southern hemisphere, Paddy is next in the Australian region, Kanga in the southwest Indian Ocean, and Cody is still next up in the South Pacific. That's all for now. We'll have another tropical weather bulletin tomorrow night.